Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Chain Out Podcast. It is season 3.
You got your wish. We both partly got our own wishes.
We did.
Yeah.
We
extended,
compromised.
We did. There you go.
It's season 3, episode 111. That's 1-1 for every season.
Yeah, I like it. First in every season.
Yeah. How is everybody doing? Happy 2026. We're excited to be at it for another year.
Yeah. Another full calendar year and a new season of disc golf.
That's right.
Yeah.
Big shout out to our listeners too. We got a number of them already joining us, just ready to be back at it in 26. I think some of their resolutions were, we're going to watch more Chain Out Podcast. What do you think?
I think that's a good resolution to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can they keep up with it? That's the thing. Don't just be January watchers. We want you there at the end of the year as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you want to romper room it for me? Who do you see out there?
Romper room. We got all the usual suspects. I thought you were giving me a fist bump then. Sorry. We got Sam. We've got Doc is always in the chat. Sonia's in the chat. Dean is in the chat as well. Dylan, he's in the chat as well. There are other people here as well. I'm scrolling back through the comments. Say hi if you're in the chat.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody.
Shout out.
Well, I see Sam had mentioned season 3, Germ Grows a Beard.
That's the, is that the, you like to have a theme. Is that the theme for season 3?
I don't want to put this out there, but I do this all the time when we talk live. I was like, you know how people have a playoff beard?
Yeah.
What if this is my 500 subscriber beard?
You could do it. Yeah.
But then we'll sit at $4.99 forever is what will happen.
I'll just keep going in and deleting people.
Exactly.
What if we do it the other way? Hey, Kristen Swirls is in the chat as well. Hey, Kristen.
What's the other way?
That when we get to 500, I shave.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
That's not going to happen.
That's not the swap that we're going to do.
No, I don't think so.
No. Well, we wanted to start this year off right. But before we even get to that, what I wanted to do is, first of all, we said we know how our Christmas and New Year's was. I'm not sure how our listeners' Christmas and New Year's went, but I was wondering if any of the listeners happened to catch our 2 special episodes that we put out for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. And if so, how did they enjoy the New Year's Eve party?
Yeah. I think, which out of the 2, I mean, the Christmas one was good. We got full, I was going to say we got to fool around a bit, but you know what I mean. We got to be our usual selves. We got to jump on. No, we didn't. That was earlier. But we got to have fun at Christmas episode.
Yeah.
But then the New Year's episode was kind of a little bit special.
It was good. It was something that our listeners have known that you had a talent, and they got to see it live, or they got to see it in real life, I would say. So that was pretty awesome.
Brock says he's going to unsub, so that doesn't happen.
Which one? I don't shave and you do?
Yeah.
He's going to stop both of those from happening. But we did want to start the year off right, and we're sure everyone out there, I know not everybody does resolutions. Not everybody does goals and plans. I do. And if you do, you're probably starting to plan your 2026 disc golf tournament season. And one of the events that is on many of our lists or many people's lists, I'm guessing, is Canadian Nationals. So tonight we have the event tournament director, Dylan Bressey, and the auxiliary director, Sam McColeman, joining to tell us all about it. They'll be here, and we're excited to chat with them in about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah. Well, we asked the listeners how they're, so Kristen said that she didn't get a chance to watch over Christmas period. Dean is... she started getting sick on New Year's Eve and she's still recovering. So we hope you get well soon, Dina. But how did your Christmas and New Year go, Jeremy?
Mine was good. I did, for the first time this year ever in my 40 plus years of life, I was actually out of Canada for Christmas.
Wow.
And I was a little bit worried, Daryl.
Yeah.
What was it going to be like waking up on Christmas Day, sitting on a beach with my toes in the sand, and a free drink in my hand?
Yeah.
It turned out it was okay.
The hardship.
That's right. There was no gifts under the tree, but it was certainly a great way to hang out for sure. So I did that. I ended up being down in Mexico, and I know you know this, but I don't know if all of our listeners do know this. But one of the other things I like to do is try to maintain my UDisc streak. So I had to really search because I was traveling over an entire week period. So if I didn't get a round in Mexico, then there was no round. I was to the point where I was going to actually see if I could create a course on UDisc with palm trees
Right.
and play that course
Yeah.
so that I could keep my streak alive.
Right.
But it turned out that in Puerto Vallarta, there is a course called Rancho Madre Tierra. And there's a gentleman there, Matthew, who runs the course. And I'll tell you, the course has seen better days. He had said it to me. He said, when you have a course in the jungle and the jungle grows every day, it's hard to maintain.
Right.
So he had 3 baskets out there. And my mom and dad, they're familiar with the area. So they drove out there with me. I got my mom to do some filming. And I used these 3 baskets, created 9 different holes, and was able to put it into a video.
Yeah. It was a good video.
Yeah, well, it's good. It was a Jeremy video.
No, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. So I would say to you, if you can, go out and check that video out if you want to see what it's like to disc golf in the only course in the Puerto Vallarta region.
Yeah, we have a question from the chat.
Sure.
Kristen wants to know, what discs did you take to Mexico?
Oh, well, that's a great question. And I'll let you know. I looked at it and my intention was to not bring all of my discs back.
Right.
So and I knew that there wasn't a full course there. So I brought a EV7 putter, left that behind, a Phi. I brought my Noah Higgins M4 that has seen better days, but I thought it would be pretty cool to leave a signed Noah Higgins disc, a Canadian disc in Mexico.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then I had a Vandal. Kind of sparkle Vandal that I'd had, and I just don't throw it. So I thought, these are 3 reasonable discs that anybody who goes down to Puerto Vallarta and happens to catch a cab or something out to that course, talk to Matthew ahead of time. You can reach him on WhatsApp. Yeah. And and
you
kind of
teased it at the end of the video that you were going to go up there and leave them for him. Is that what you ended up doing?
Well, I went to find him. He wasn't actually on the property, so I left him in the basket. Nobody's taking them. Right. So that picture at the very end of the discs in the basket, that's how I left it.
Awesome.
And then I'm working with him right now to see if I can't even transfer him some funds, so maybe he can trim some of the jungle back for the next person who shows up.
There you go.
So if you do head down there, tell him that Jeremy and Daryl from Chain Out sent you, and I'm sure he'll be excited to hear it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Spreading the love.
So that was one thing that happened. And then just this past weekend here, I got to play my first Winter League, Daryl, of the year. So it's been going on for 3-4 weeks?
3 or 4 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So I played my first round on Saturday. I was playing with Dylan Froelich, Matt Dwyer, both friends of the show. And it was cold and the snow was deep.
Yeah.
The saving grace is that it was sunny. That was the nice part about it, was that the sun was out. We didn't play with ribbons.
How was the course? Was it pretty trampled in? Was it worn away? No, it was still pretty fresh.
No. It was deep. There was a couple holes. We brought a shovel with us, and we were trying to find the tee pads because it has snowed so much over the holidays, and nobody'd been out that you didn't even know where the tee pads were.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, we just knew by memory.
Yeah.
So we did that. We got through. I shot a +8, and I was just happy to get through the round. Dylan shot the hot round with a -7 in these conditions.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. And the biggest thing for me was my cardio was put to the test. We finished hole 6, coming down there, and there's a bit of a walk to hole 7. By the time I got to hole 7, I had to take off layers because I was so tired and hot.
Yeah.
Luckily, we were out ahead of the other groups, so we could take a break before we started it. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to lately.
Yeah. I didn't really get up to a lot over the New Year and Christmas time, but I did recently just take up a kind of new winter activity.
Ooh,
yeah.
Tell us more.
I mean, your story of playing out in the snow, in the deep snow, working out your cardio, almost losing discs, things like that. You didn't lose any, but almost. No. Just doesn't sound like fun to me.
Oh.
I mean, I don't mind getting out every now and again once the snow is packed down a bit. But yeah, so I haven't played disc golf for quite a few weeks, but I ordered myself a pair of snowshoes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you order like those classic wicker ones with the tail on them? Or?
Yeah. No. I ordered brand new ones.
Okay.
Not carbon fiber, but like aluminum, all, specialized for winter. Yeah. Decided to, in the summertime and when it's warmer, when I'm not disc golfing, I like going for walks and hikes and things like that. So if I can't do it, I mean, you can still walk on some of these trails. They're pretty trampled in, but when the snow is fresh out, maybe you need to wear them while you're disc golfing as well.
That could be.
That might work.
Yeah. Are they easy to get on and off? Could you wear them to walk and then jump out of them, throw,
I mean,
jump back in?
It would be a while. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I've got the fast, quick release, grips on them, but or the straps. But yeah, so I went out snowshoeing for the first time. That was a great experience. I like it, and I'm going to go out and do some more.
Okay, now question, because I know being a Canadian, I should know, but I haven't done really any snowshoeing.
Okay.
Was it easier, harder? Is it or is it about the same when you're walking?
It's about the same.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, it was the same because I was walking on paths that had been kind of trampled down, but there was still some fresh snow on there, but it was kind of not so bad. But when I did walk off the path and walk in the deep snow, thinking that, the snowshoe is just going to be keeping me on top of the snow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you still sink down in the snow, but it just makes it easier.
Oh,
but when you're
gotcha.
trying to pull your foot out, you're kind of lifting up some snow. So it's a bit of a workout, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which, that's what I enjoy. I enjoy going out and, I'm not going out for a bimble. I'm going out to...
A bimble?
Don't you use that word?
I think that's an English word.
A bimble, a jaunt,
Oh, a nice little bimble.
a
All right.
jolly ho.
Well, it was certainly more than a bimble
Yes.
at Rundle. So you
There you
did
go.
a nice little bimble.
Yeah.
There you go.
Important thing is we're getting outside and we're staying active.
Yeah, and what are you doing during the winter to keep yourselves active? Let us know on that. One of the things I know that they're doing out in BC is they're already starting, and maybe never stopping is
Yeah, exactly.
probably the right word
That's what
for
I
it.
think, yeah.
They're never stopping the tournament season. There were actually 2 tournaments in Canada this past weekend,
Yeah,
and they were both in BC.
exactly. First one, Duck Golf number 4. That was out at Burnaby, the Kensington Disc Golf Course. Now, that's a newer course, according to UDisc. It was established in 2024. 69 players turned up for this event. On the MPO side, Andy Novak and Quinn Cochran. Now,
Yeah.
we know both of those names from doing our fantasy disc golf research. They both tied for first, but it looks like Andy just took down the win over Quinn.
Right?
Quinn's brother Cole also played in the event. He finished 4th. Now, here's a fun fact for you about Quinn.
And Cole. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, no,
probably
about Quinn. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, at least for Quinn. Quinn, like I said, was in a tie for first in the MPO division.
Right.
He's still eligible to play MJ15.
It always amazes me, right? Like
Yeah.
the kids are these days that are getting into disc golf early. Like, I don't know, it's like a whole Gannon Burr thing where they're just getting so good so fast, and then they're beating the seasoned pros and anyone else who's playing.
Yeah. And then over on the FPO side, Alison Radich. That's another name that we know as well. She
Oh.
took down the win over there.
Yeah. And then the other tournament that was going on was another 4th of a series, and that's the Island Series that was happening at Mary's Farm in Langford. And Langford is just outside of Victoria. So that's like Gabby Lee, Christy Lee, Sophia Donica, they all play there quite regularly. There were 57 players at that one, and it was another tie in the MPO division with Ben Como and Ethan Whitelaw battling it out, and it looks like Ben took the win in the playoff because he was listed higher in the results. There were no FPOs, actually no F divisions in this one, but Christy Lee was there, and she took place in the 6th place in the MP40 division.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think when we were talking, she'll be representing in the FP40 as FP40, the Masters part of
Yeah.
WIFDIF, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
you're
cool.
right. Yeah. Some other news that we're going to be talking about. You can head over to our website, chainoutpodcast.com, and we have a new news section that we're going to be trying to keep up to date with there. But we're going to report about it, some news that happened over the Christmas period and into the new year. One of the first things, Noah Higgins, after a breakout, kind of an outstanding 2025, he's
Yes.
been promoted to the Prodigy Core team for 2026.
Well, and he earned that with his 3 A-tier wins last year. We talked about them all being at bird related tournaments.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he had such a crazy year last year of just going off and winning tournaments and just finding his game again.
Yeah. And then we were talking about it in the chat here when we were just starting, but on other news from Prodigy, Chantel Bedinsky, Miss Frisbees, just announced that she is leaving Prodigy after 4 years on the team.
That's right.
Yeah, that was a bit of a it was a bit of a shock to me. I never heard anything about it, or never heard anything that things like that might happen. So she's taken some time off to concentrate on her YouTube channel. She's still going to get out to events. Always going to still be playing disc golf tournaments and disc golf in her life, but yeah, going in a little bit of a different direction for her.
And I would say too, Daryl, is that Miss Frisbee's has always had a great YouTube presence, and she's got a video out there talking about it. And if you want to know the details about what happened and what more about what she's going to do, it's all there. It's about 8 minutes, and we were just catching ourselves up on it earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about your favorite disc golf manufacturer? Shall we talk about what they're doing in 2026, the news they got?
Absolutely. They've got a lot going on. You know, I spoke to Brock when I saw him recently, that whoever the media coordinator for Innova needs a pay raise, because it seemed like everybody on Team Innova announced whether they were, because I think they've now realigned all their ambassador and all their sponsorships to January 1st.
Okay.
For you, Jeremy. So Martin Hendel stays on the Masters team.
Smart decision.
He's a staple there. Sophia Donica, obviously, she's back on Innova's champ team. Sorry.
Yeah, and she's already out in New Zealand.
Yeah,
getting ready to play the first tournament of the tour.
Yeah, Tour Down Under. Then we have rising star Rebecca Dawn. She was promoted. She always used to be in the junior division. After her outstanding year, winning Rookie of the Year last year for on the Pro Tour, she got promoted to the crew team.
Right.
Yeah. Then we have the sponsored team. 2 athletes on that team. We have Casey Hannemeyer and Alexandra Paletto.
Awesome players.
Yeah, friends of the show. They've been on here before. And then we go a little bit further down to the Innova junior team. Now, I think we should just tag team this one because there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so Antoine Crete,
Nico Forbes,
Jolianne Ramanaskas,
Brock Dowdle,
Alistair Robertson,
Mason and Sawyer Howard. They are all on the Innova junior team. And when we do the math on it, that's 7 out of 55 juniors that are Canadian. So 12% of the junior team is Canadian for Innova.
There you go.
I think they're making some smart decisions here.
Yeah, they're building for the future.
They are, for sure. And, you know, normally before we get to the guests, which we have in the waiting room and are going to get right there, we like to tell you about our sponsors. And really at this point, we want to just do a quick thank you. So we want to thank BR Disc Golf and Cardinal Disc Golf for helping us out in 2025 and sponsoring us. Also thanks to Craig and Jen Snow of Goat Towel and Callum Mathers of Chains the Disc Golf board game. They weren't sponsors, but gave us discount codes and supported us throughout the year. So a lot of thanks to them. And just to let you know, we are working on our 2026 sponsorships and hope to announce some news soon. And if you're interested in sponsoring a Chain Out podcast or know someone who wants to get shouted out, have them reach out to us.
Absolutely.
We'll have our people talk to their people.
Yeah. One other people that we want to shout out as well, Jeremy. Touch Disc Golf. We mentioned them earlier in the year when we were updating the studio. Mentioned, put a post out and mentioned how good the studio looks now. We had all our Canadian pro discs that we want to display, and we always kind of had them around the studio before. Now we get to display them on the back wall. And they also wanted to let us know that Touch Disc Golf is now sponsoring Rebecca Dawn.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So if you would like to display your disc, you have them. I'm sure everybody has discs laying around. If you want to put them up on the wall, you got those signed discs. You don't want to just kick them around. You don't take them out of the back of your car. Go over to Touch Disc Golf, use code Rebecca for 10% off.
That's right. And Touch was nice enough to give us some extra display holders as well. So keep an eye because we'll be giving away some of those throughout the year too.
They're in the queue.
They're in the queue. There's a queue for the giveaways for sure. But let's get ourselves to the guests. What do you say?
Yeah, they're patiently waiting.
All right. So tonight we have 2 guests joining us. We've got Dylan Bressey. He's been a PDGA member since 2011. His first PDGA sanctioned event was the 2011 Canadian Disc Golf Championships. He's the treasurer for the Grande Prarie Disc Golf Club and the event director for the 2026 Nationals. We also have Sam McColeman joining us. He's a PDGA member since 2021. His first sanctioned event was the 2021 River City Cup. That's in our own Edmonton area. He's the president of the Grande Prarie Disc Golf Club and the auxiliary event director for Nationals. So join us in welcoming Dylan Bressey and Sam McColeman to the podcast.
Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Daryl. Thanks for having us.
You bet.
How are you doing?
We're excited to talk about the amazing disc golf in Grande Prarie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. And, you know, we'll try to throw it back between the two of you guys. If one of you wants to answer a question or jump in, you can do it however you feel. But first of all, we were talking about how our Christmas and New Year went. How were your guys' holidays? And Dylan, if you want to hit it first, go right ahead.
Well, it was a hard unplug for me. I know we've got a busy year coming up. I've got a lot of stuff going on professionally, but also getting ready for nationals is going to be a heavy lift. So my family and I went low key and did nothing for 2 weeks, and that is the best type of holiday, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. And how about you, Sam?
I was about the exact opposite. I don't know. Can you guys hear me on there? I just want to
Oh,
make sure
I can
everything's
hear you
working.
great.
You're good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was complete opposite. My wife is from Prince George, so we drove there. It was about 8 hour drive in the snow the whole time, and then from there to Edmonton to see my family. So we were 3 days in Prince George, 3 days in Edmonton, 22 hours on the road in about 8 day spans. So very good time. It was very fun to see family, but was kind of exhausted when I got home. So yeah, opposite of Dylan, but yeah, with my work, it's fairly slow at this time of year, and yeah, it was nice to see everyone. So now
That's
kind of
awesome.
hunkered in and getting settled in and excited for nationals coming up.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, one thing that Jeremy was telling us a little bit earlier is that he likes to keep his UDisc streak alive. You got out and played down in Mexico. He played in Winter League.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I thought you were saying something
No,
else.
no.
Played down in Mexico. He played in the Winter League. Is that something you guys do as well? Do you like to try and keep a streak alive, or do you play much during the winter?
I would love to play in Mexico. What course did you play in Mexico?
It's called Rancho Tierra Madre, and it's a course that was good, but the jungle has started to take it back and fight it back.
Okay.
So it's just got about
Okay,
3
yeah.
baskets. Have you been there?
Oh, okay. No, but I did play in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was some guy from Victoria and a guy from Calgary actually that kind of opened the course there. And
Oh,
so, yeah,
I
I
have
played
to-
2 rounds, joined in their little local league when I was there.
Nice. That's awesome. You'll have to tell me about that. So the next time I'm down, I can look for that course.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good quality. But as far as the streak this year, I think we've had a record amount of snow in Grande Prarie in the last couple of months, and I've been keeping tabs on everyone on UDisc, and I don't know that any locals have a streak still going in the winter time here. So yeah, not a good winter so far for winter disc golf.
For sure.
How about you, Dylan?
Yeah, I know we've got some thoughts about doing a few indoor putting things. I'm looking forward to those. Haven't played in a couple of months. The problem is I fall in love with course design and building courses and organizing disc golf, and I feel like I work a lot more on disc golf than I actually get to play these days. But it's the part of the sport I love, so I'm still having a lot of fun in disc golf, even if I don't get to touch plastic as much as I'd like.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know, yeah, as soon as it started to get any amount of snow on the ground, I was like, you know what, my streak is over and I'm okay with that. I know that it's going to end. But I know as soon as I tell that to Jeremy, he's like, what? You're giving up your streak? You can't let it go. But now he's, how long are you at now?
144, I think was the last
144
one.
weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Now it's at a point where he dare not go out because he just doesn't want to lose that streak, right?
Yeah. I'm like, will I
Yeah, I
quit
mean-
golfing altogether if I break the streak? That's what I'm nervous about.
And honestly,
So-
if we had a course like Langholm in St. Albert or the Hills or something, I would probably brave it. We're blessed with 3 nice 18-hole courses that are difficult in the summer. So winter disc golf is unfortunately pretty tough.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think too,
So are
Sam,
you ribbon guys, or are you just go on an adventure in the snow and hope you find it, guys?
in the past, I was a ribbon guy, but this year I've got great card mates and I've become a lot more savvy. I don't just go trouncing through like a bull in the snow. I like quietly creep up to the area and I very much pay attention to where the disc dropped and I'm looking for indents in the snow. So I've dropped the ribbons for now, but it's been nice because there's been a lot of deep snow, easy to find the discs for sure. Yeah. Well, Sam, you mentioned Langholm there. If I remember right, did we not run into each other? I ran into someone from Grande Prarie, and I thought it was you. Was it you?
Yeah, it was me. That was I think it was maybe last winter, right? Like I think it was snow on the ground and yeah, I was out there. I think you were filming some content for your guys' Instagram or something like that.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's good. And it's good to come full circle because I think we talked at that time about having you come on the podcast and it took a little while, but here we are.
Yeah, full circle for sure.
Yeah. Now, Dylan, when we were talking in the intro there, we mentioned that you've been a PDGA member since 2011. Is that when you started playing disc golf or were you playing before that and that's just when you got your PDGA membership?
No, I fell in love with disc golf back in probably around 2000 when I was a high school student in Calgary, and it was me and a few buddies with Ultra Stars would just go out and do safari golf. It was, hey, that power pole par four, now that tree par three, and we would go out every single day in the summer back before there was even really access to disc golf courses. And so I'm a long time person that's loved it, but it was on my fifth wedding anniversary. We were doing a big trip through Oregon, and I saw my first real disc golf course somewhere in Oregon, and immediately went to the Play It Again sports store to get an actual disc. Went out there and had no idea what I was really doing on a real course, but instantly had two guys who could tell I was out of my element come up and say, "Hey, you look new. Let's show you how to throw a disc, how to hold a disc, where the course is." And that kind of welcome to the sport was something that I really appreciated. So later that year, I went to my first ever tournament, and because I like to bite off more than I can chew, it was Falcon's Flight.
Okay.
And uh, and again, the masters level guys there saw this really young buck who was enthusiastic but had no idea what he was doing, and took me under their wings. And by the end of hobbling my way around Falcon's Flight for a weekend and getting my butt absolutely kicked by those courses, but a lot of gracious instructors helped me along the way, I fell in love with the disc golf community and got absolutely hooked probably around 2008.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so when you were talking about
Yeah.
Falcon's Flight there, when I did the research, that Falcon's Flight didn't turn up. But
Right.
what came up as your first PDGA sanctioned event, at least on your page, was the 2011 Canadian Disc Golf Championships out in Kamloops and Logan Lake. And so when we were thinking, I'm like, if that was your first tournament, as I'm putting this together, I'm like, that's quite the first tournament to take on. What do you remember about that event being probably your first national championship?
So the two things I remember is it was hard to find disc golf to watch back then, but I had found a few videos and I absolutely loved Eric McCabe and Feldberg were my two favorite players.
Mhm.
And I'm out on a practice round, and I'm on around hole 6, and these two guys that throw really well come up behind me, ask if they can play along, and we get about 2 holes in before I realize, holy smokes, that's McCabe and Feldberg, and I can't believe I'm playing with them, and just love watching them throw it. But my absolute favorite memory of it was during the distance competition. Again, really hard to watch disc golf back then. Nobody knew who the pros were. While this tiny little beanpole woman walks up and enters the distance competition, and you could just see some of the dudes looking at her like, what's she doing here? Easy money beating her. Well, you don't even know why she showed up. And she absolutely destroys them. And it was really fun watching the local pros lose the distance competition to Paige Pierce.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We were just doing the research, and like you mentioned a lot of the names there, but
Yeah.
Will Schustrick, Dave Feldberg, Eric McKay, Paul Oman, Glenn Whitlock was there as well, and then Paige Pierce. They were all playing there, so you were in good company.
Yeah, and to see Paige at that time too, just kind of laying down the beats that early too, right?
Yeah, absolutely destroyed. I remember they did a skins match after, and I think it was Feldberg and Page were on a double skin team, and they're about 4 holes in. They're about 250 feet away from the hole, and Feldberg goes, "Let's just finish this hole now." Just effortlessly does a 250-foot throw in, and just blew me away. And I'd never seen anybody throw a disc like that ever before, and it just absolutely dropped my jaw and made me go, "Holy smokes! I want to get better at the sport."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and when you did that nationals, was it already in your head? Do you think that was where the seed was planted for you guys to say, one day I'd like to do this too, and maybe up in Grande Prarie? Were you at that point yet, or?
Well, I was still in Calgary at that point. That was
Okay.
actually the summer I was about to move to Grande Prairie. And when I moved to Grande Prairie, as far as I can tell, nobody in town had ever played on a real disc golf course before. So I was ready to come up to the boonies, and my ambition was maybe in 5 or 6 years of being here, I could build the course and I'll finally have somewhere to play. Well, much to my surprise, this community was really embracing of a young, brand new nobody who had a great idea. And within a year of moving to Grande Prairie, we had the Grande Prairie Disc Golf Club founded. We had our first course, Thrill Hill, built. And everybody in the province couldn't believe how quickly we got a high quality course built. It took us about 3 more years to get South Bear in. And at that time, we were really the only community in Alberta that had 2 high functioning, high quality disc golf courses. And I knew that we had something special in this community. And so I've appreciated the opportunity to show it off to Alberta. But ever since I realized how special this place is for disc golf, I've always wanted to show it off to the nation. There's very few communities that can say they have 3 awesome disc golf courses within a 10-minute drive of each other.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's exciting.
Exactly.
We want to get into that, but before we do, we can't leave Sam hanging
No,
here.
exactly.
Yeah.
Sam, when we did our research on you, we noticed that your first PDGA sanctioned event, do you remember it? It was right here in Edmonton.
Yeah, well, so that's my first one with a PDGA number.
Right.
When I first started, I was kind of on that PDGA is a scam kind of track. So I think I played for 2 or 3 years without a PDGA number. So I moved to Grande Prairie. Like, I'm a local from Edmonton, actually. That explains the River City. I try and come to River City yearly if I can, if not every other year. Yeah, like I played Arundel Park when I was in high school. Me and my brother had a couple of high-speed drivers and a couple of putters, and we'd go throw our biggest hyzers. We all played a little bit of ultimate growing up, so we all just threw ultimate shots and just a bunch of hyzers. And at Rundle, I think we got away with it. Like, I think I shot a +7 while not having a clue what I was doing. And then I moved to Grande Prairie in 2018, and the first guys that I was friends with there, they taught disc golf out at the summer camp that they ran.
Okay.
And so, I kind of made fun of disc golf still a little bit at that point, but if I wanted to have friends, I needed to go play disc golf. So, first round at Thrill Hill kicked my butt. It's not quite as forgiving as the rough at Rundle. So, I was like a +30, +35 out there. But fell in love with it, logged 30 rounds that summer. And then next summer played a full year. And I think it was either 2019 or 2020, that Greg Barsby had won Worlds the year before and did his tour, and he came up to Grande Prairie.
Oh,
and
wow.
So, yeah. So actually my first tournament was that summer. I got second place in the MA2 division, had a ton of fun. And so then I joined a tournament in Fort St. John, which was the same weekend Greg Barsby was doing his clinic. So he gave a clinic in like Dawson Creek, Fort St. John area on Friday, then Grande Prairie on Saturday, and then it was a one-day event in Fort St. John on Sunday that he actually played in. So it was pretty sweet. It was a C tier. We all remember Greg having a couple old mills on the course and beating all of our local pros by quite a bit. So that was a cool, I didn't watch any disc golf then, but it was fun to see a pro level player like that showed up and didn't necessarily look, Greg's not a 6'5" beast like some of the current guys are, but man, he could, I just remember him making putts from like 50 feet behind a tree, wherever it was. Like you'd think someone was getting a stroke on him, and he just hit a putt from everywhere. So that was, those are my cool early moments. And then, kind of got hooked a few years later, got the PDGA thing going, and a lot of events since.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you kind of both touched on it there about the 3 great courses up in Grande Prairie. Looking at the scene, what it's like up there today, what is the scene like in Grande Prairie? How many members do you have in your organization up there? Either one of you can take it.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead.
Yeah, so last year we sold 65 memberships. So
Okay.
we don't have the hugest amount of members. It depends on the year that we're going out on the course and aggressively telling people, hey, you need to kick in $50. Honestly, our membership list goes up and down. But as far as we can tell from UDisc and scouting out the courses, we've got about 1,700 people who play very regularly. We've got every single high school, almost every junior high, most elementary schools touch disc golf every year with their students.
That's awesome.
We've got a lot of people that are coming through for work or for whatever that end up on our courses. So our courses get really busy. Our Thrill Hill course on a Saturday in July, you're going to be waiting to tee off.
Wow.
South Bear, Evergreen Park, sometimes less of a crowd, but they're busy courses. At the same time, though, we've got a really cool vibe with our club culture. We've managed to build a culture of really welcoming, really inclusive. We've got some guys who can throw really well, but I don't think we have too many that take themselves too seriously on the course. Always happy to welcome the new players and have a good time. So we've got a busy scene up here, but a pretty laid back, chill one that at the same time really does step up when it comes time to put on an event or build a course. They really take that seriously, but they don't take themselves too seriously, which I love.
That's awesome.
Well, you mentioned there just about the community will step up when it's time to run an event. When you look at your disc golf calendar, what are some of the events that you might put on throughout the year?
Yeah, pretty regularly. We I think it's March that we do our Slush Cup. We've got a local member that's run it the last 3-4 years now, but that event's been going on for years. Certain years we have 4 feet of snow, and other years it's almost all melted there. So it's a good toss up. But that's kind of our membership drive at the start of the year. Most people that show up there, it's just to enter the tournament, you just got to pay for a membership. So that's our kickoff, and then Swan City Showdown is our big tournament every summer. Usually in the past we've done it as a C tier. I think Dylan, are we more than 10 years now at Swan City Showdown? Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
2013 was his first year.
Yeah. So Swan City Showdown, that's our 2-day. This year we ran it as a B tier. Had just over 100 players or something in there, and then we like to do some 1-day, like we've done the space race in the past. I put on a few last year, 3-disc duel, some different kind of non-PGA sanctioned fun events like that. And then we have a local too who he bought an acreage a few years back, and it started as like a invite only, about 20 people, 6-hole course. And last year it was 20 holes. He used 2 of the neighbors' properties and 2 rounds 1 day, PDGA sanctioned. And the coolest thing is he's a business owner, so he hits up all of his contacts and asks for prizes. And so then the prize table, like last year, there was a ukulele from Long and McQuaid. There was a jug of oil from UFA. There was gallons of honey. There was Mennonite sausage. Like, it's just the funniest mix of prizes, but actually probably more value there than just about any tournament I've been to. So, so that's one. It's called Bear Lake Open, and it's gaining traction. I think we might have had 50 players there last year for it, and it's a really fun event as well. So usually we're good about probably 3 PDJ sanctioned events. We also have a sanctioned league that we run. That last year we ran 3 separate 8-week leagues. We did spring, summer, fall leagues. So a lot of chances. We try, and with the PDJ membership becoming more and more necessary, we've been trying to make it worthwhile for people to pull the trigger on that and get a lot of rated rounds in. But yeah, that's kind of I think an overview of all the events we do.
Yeah,
great. Yeah, well, and we got to know that this year one of your biggest events is going to be the 2026 Canadian National Championships. So, each of you take your turn on it, but how excited are you? How excited is the club? How excited is the community about getting a chance to host the event this year?
Our club's excited. I'll let Sam talk about the club, but I'll talk about the community first. And there's a lot of buzz in Grande Prarie from people that have never touched a disc golf disc that are excited about it. We're a community that loves to do sport tourism. Behind me, I've got this little bear here, and that's from when we hosted the Alberta Winter Games a couple years ago. We've hosted the Alberta Summer Games. We've hosted curling national championships, softball national championships, swimming national championships. We're a community that loves to welcome people here to enjoy our athletic facilities and get to know the beauty of the Peace Country. And so we've got a really good vibe going from volunteers who are going to be out there spotting on courses, from businesses that are going to be kicking in money to make the courses and experience special. And Grande Prarie as a whole is really excited to have another kind of feather in its cap as we get to host yet another national caliber athletic event. So it's fun when the community gets behind an event like this.
For sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and for myself, like, and the club in general, we tried, I think, I wasn't on the committee, like I wasn't as involved with the club last time we made a nationals bid. Dylan was a big part of that one. And we got told no. I don't know all the logistics of why, but to us, it just felt like, okay, maybe we're not ever going to get a nationals because we're too small of a center. And, on paper, they think our courses don't look hard enough or whatever it might be. And so I think we were a little defeated by that. But when we ran provincials, Dylan, was that 2021 provincials?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been more proud of our club, just on the event we put on, between the skills contest that was different than any other tournament skills contest I'd been to. It happened that Grande Prarie comes alive in the summertime because, similar to Edmonton, our winters are tough, they're long, and everyone likes to just take advantage of the summer. So there was a big city, essentially city party that was getting put on once a month, and it was happening in the parking lot of one of our disc golf courses on the Saturday night. And so we essentially just joined the players party to that party. We had a skills contest that night, and just had so many people having a ton of fun in our community and playing our courses. And I've also just always loved when people show up and play our course for a tournament. Just they leave talking so highly about our courses. And so I think we all have a lot of local pride in what Grande Prarie has to offer disc golf. And we also, it's just hard to bring people up here. And it's fair. Like when I lived in Edmonton, I never thought of driving up to Grande Prarie until I got a job here. And then for my wedding, all my friends coming from Edmonton, they were like, okay, I'm ready for farmland. And then they get to Grande Prarie, and it's, a city of 75,000 or whatever it is. And it actually has a lot of amenities. We got Costco. So, yeah, I think it's different than what a lot of other people expect it to be. And I feel like it always, even if people come in with expectations now about our disc golf, I think it still always exceeds expectations. And so I'm so excited, one, for people to just try the courses and see what the city has to offer. And two, I'm always really proud of the events that our team puts on. Greg Hearn has been running Swan City Showdown for years, and Greg's the best, one of the best, if not the best tournament director that I've been around or worked with, and just always make sure that the player experience is better than just about any event you go to. So he's one of the guys on our committee, and I just think between him and the rest of us and our courses, there's no way we're going to let people down. So just a lot of excitement to show people what we have to offer. And also probably my best shot at ever cashing at an A tier in the MPO division. So,
well, you mentioned there.
Hey, before we jump on, because Sam mentioned getting here at amenities, I also need to mention one of our great amenities is an airport that gets 5 to 8 flights a day. So if people are worried about getting up here from other parts of the country, we're accessible by the air, very much so.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned in there about your the bid in 2023, I think it was, for the Nationals. We had Chris Oslins on the show about a month or so ago, and he mentioned that bid and that you were so close that in that year. He said your package was awesome. So that was, you saying that whatever it was, it just pipped you to the post. But he said it was a great package that they put together. No wonder that you were in consideration for the 2026 Nationals. So yeah. You guys, I'm surprised you were like, oh, we're not sure what kind of happened, because it was too bad that he didn't get a chance to mention that, because he had said, he's like, I wasn't sure if Thunder Bay was going to get it that year because Grande Prarie's package was so good. It was that tight from his thoughts and his opinion on it. And then when we were at Nationals in Ontario this past year, we were lucky enough to host the opening ceremonies, and that's when Can Disc Golf announced Grande Prarie as the host city. And we were, we think we're plugged in for the most part, but we had no clue. And we were both so excited to hear that it was coming to Alberta. Yeah.
And to beyond that, we did some research. And then aside from a satellite nationals, which I think happened during COVID in Alberta, the last full nationals event was in 2001 in Edmonton. And that means you guys get, like, after a 25-year hiatus, you guys get the hosting duties in Alberta. It's just, I don't know. I just could keep talking about it. I'm so excited about it. So Absolutely. If you don't know that there's enthusiasm on this side, I think you can see it now.
Well, we're excited to get that scoop. And I mentioned I was surprised by how easy it was to get a course built here. But one of the things I said that got me the land and got me the money was, hey, guys, if we build this course, we could do something better and quicker than Edmonton and Calgary can. And so it's kind of coming full circle now that we're the first ones to get this back in forever into Alberta.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you mentioned it there about the flights, but we want to talk about everything that's going to happen with Nationals. many of our listeners want the details. So let's start with some of the basic information. When will Nationals be taking place this year?
So we're going to be hosting the event itself July 24th, 26th. But you're going to want to get here a few days early for practice because our courses really do take some touch and some placement. But more importantly than that, along with practice, we're going to be putting on a few one day C tiers if you want to practice under pressure. And I'm sure we'll be putting on a few other fun things you could do the days before. So 24th to the 26th for the event itself, but get out here a little bit early.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we were worried here, Dylan, that you guys, and we're prepared if you don't, because it's very early, that you might not have answers to all these questions. So we'll just keep hitting you with them. But by the answer of that one, I think they're going to be just fine.
Oh, yeah. I think they're planning pretty good.
Yeah. And so let our listeners know as well is how is registration working? When is that opening up and the tiers and that type of thing?
So we want to have just a few more details in place before we open up registration. What we're planning is February 1st, it's going to open up for those who are willing to sponsor a hole. February 15th, we want to start a tiered process since it's the national championships. We want to make sure that the top talent can get in. So on February 15th, we're going to be opening it to 970 rated and above, as well as females and juniors. February 22nd, we'll open it up to 935 and above rated. And then March 1st is when it'll be for everyone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, that's
we just missed out there, Jeremy.
yeah, just missed out on the 935. 970 was a bit of a stretch. 935, 860 to 935. Can I close that loop between then, do you think?
I don't know if we got time.
Well, and at the moment, too, when we were looking, it looks like MA1 is currently the lowest mixed amateur division offered. So I know people are going to ask, is there going to be a chance that MA2 or MA3 could open up depending on what registration looks like?
Yeah, it definitely is something that we'll consider depending on registration numbers, but we do want to make sure that we're creating enough room for pros and the highest level of amateur play to get in. We really do want to make sure that we're respecting the national championships, so the highest level players need to get here. But at the same time, I don't think we have any interest in not fully utilizing our courses. So we'll have some of those conversations as we get closer to tournament date. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in our discussions, MA2 and FA2 should be included. Once registration drops, you'll see for sure. But I'm pretty sure we're going to MA2 and FA2, which I believe is what has happened on the previous nationals as well. So, but again, once we got me and Dylan are not the two in charge of registration there, so. We've got another guy on it, and he could probably answer it a little bit better than us. But again, when registration drops, still, if you're playing in those divisions, pop on, have a look, and should be updated then.
Awesome.
I'm guessing a lot of these questions, the answer is going to be just check disc golf scene.
Yeah. Keep your eye on it.
Keep your eye on disc golf scene.
It's probably a good thing to say about disc golf scene with something like this is I don't know that everyone knows. It was Kristen, one of our listeners, who had told us before. I don't know that everyone knows if you just click that follow button on disc golf scene, you'll get every single update and announcement that you guys do. So if you make a change to registration, you'll get notified that way.
Anybody putting a question in the comments, you'll get a notification that there's a new question there.
Yeah.
And a new answer I'm expecting as well. Do you know what the maximum number of players you're going to be having for this tournament at the moment?
So we do have 3 full courses, and so we can go up to around 450 would be around our cap.
Wow.
Is that the number that you're kind of planning for?
Yeah, we're planning for a little over 400. And one of the benefits we have is we don't want to make the courses too congested, too busy, and get people going too late. But up here in northern Alberta, we've got sunlight till 11 p.m. And so it does let us get a decent amount of people through the courses while still leaving a decent amount of hours in the evening for those who want to go back to get a practice round in or refine the holes they want to do. And so there really is benefit to having those long days of getting people through while still leaving time for practice in the evenings.
Right.
Yeah. That's great. That's a good number of people, and I'd love to see that many people up at Grande Prarie.
Absolutely.
Clearwater was a little bit smaller a couple years ago, but it really felt like disc golf took over the town for that time period, and it would be really cool if anywhere anybody went in Grande Prarie, whether it was out to the restaurant or out to a hotel, it's like there's another guy with a backpack full of plastic on his or another lady out there. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and totally. I was at that Nationals in Clearwater and seeing, essentially we took over the town. I think we were on one of the town signs, "Welcome disc golfers" or something, and seeing a town that size host an event that size definitely gave me hope for Grande Prairie, because we do have the amenities of a mid-sized city there, and I don't think it would be quite as apparent as in a town like Clearwater, but again, I do still love the small town aspect of Grande Prairie, and I think you'd definitely be running into some disc golfers, and it'd have a nice buzz to it for sure.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned and during the registration there about getting Canada's top talent. You want to get the best of the best to come and play. With that being said, will registration be open to US players given the fact that it is Canadian Nationals?
Yeah, so our plan is we're gonna I said, the only tiering or quote unquote discrimination we're doing is by PDGA ranking. For us, we think it's the best player that's in Canada at the moment. If we would love to get some amazing talent from the US if they want to come, we really want to show off the best arms we can show off in Northern Alberta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And with that being said, from your story earlier there, Sam, if Greg Barsby wants to make a return trip up to Canada, let's see. I'm sure he could still hold his own at our Canadian Nationals.
100%. I've been reaching out to a couple more big name pros, and we won't share too much about that, but seen got a little bit of interest in a few responses. So we think it'd be awesome to. It's just cool to see, when you see a big name that you've watched on TV and YouTube and disc golf, Disc Golf Network before. If you see one of those guys locally, it's pretty neat. So hoping, and I mean, we've got enough Canadians that have that wow factor now as well, that we're really excited and hoping that they can all make it out. But again, it is always cool to see a couple Americans come up and see if they can try and defeat Canadians as well. So
that'd be great. Well, and the two of you had mentioned a little bit earlier about some of the courses, those quality courses that you have up there. But if we want, let's break them down a little bit, and we go course by course. And Sam, if you want to start with any of the three courses that are going to be part of the event, tell us about one of them and give us a little bit of what you can expect when you get to that course.
For sure. I'll leave Thrill Hill for Dylan because he's the designer there, so he's probably got the most insight on that course. But South Bear Creek is probably our most well-rounded, kind of in the middle between wooded golf and open golf. It's an awesome course where you can go out there and you can shoot a pretty high negative number if you're on that day. You're hitting your lines. It's really fun where like the last four holes are some bomberish par fours, and right before that is four really short wooded holes. So we always say you try and go 4 down through the woods, but you can easily, hit first available on one of those and take a bad bogey or something. And it's just it's really pretty. It's built on a mix of there's ball diamonds all around it. It's a really cool area of town in general. There's volleyball courts, ball diamonds, BMX park. Like, it's a very sports centered area. There's a lot of people that go running through the trails there and whatnot. And just beautiful. Like, if you walk there right when stuff's budding in the summer or in the fall time, like, it's just one of the nicest walks in town to begin with. And yeah, it's a course where you need to have both the backhand and forehand to really play it well. But as soon as you have a pretty well-rounded game, like, you should be doing pretty well at that course. The nice thing about Grande Prairie that covers up a lot of our games is it's not necessarily just the best putter that's winning every time. I find when I go play Rundle Park, my bad putting gets exposed really hard because, just about everybody's getting within 45 feet of the basket on certain holes. And it's just if you can hit your putts. Whereas Grande Prairie, on just about all of our courses, there will be a lot of holes where you could be within circle one, but still behind some trees and stuff. So South Bear has a good mix of that. Couple death putts where you're playing with some elevation, The landfill part of the course, like it's old landfill, so it's all grass on it now, with the occasional tire or something sticking through the hill. But we got a couple really good downhill, uphill holes. One of the hardest holes in town, where you got to hit an uphill gap 300 feet and fade out to the left. And it's a tiny gap, low ceiling, and then another uphill shot to the basket. So just it's a very fun mixed variety where you get to throw drivers, putters, mids, and just kind of gives you a bit of everything. I think there's probably six or seven par fours on it. A few of them being, you read the tee sign, you're like, it's a 390 foot par four. What the heck? I'm going to eagle this. But when you see the shape of how the hole works, you can cut roll down into a forest where if you're making a bogey, you're pretty excited about it. So
Gotcha.
Just definitely a good mix there, where if you're on that day, you can shoot a pretty good score, but there's also a lot of opportunity to blow up and take some big numbers. So really fun course. A lot of people's, when they come and play all three, if they just get one chance at them, it's a lot of people's favorite course. Again, just beautiful walk, and I think people have a lot of fun with that one.
Nice. That's a great breakdown. I don't know how you're gonna follow that up there, Dylan, but with Thrill Hill, if you're the designer, I'm sure you know a little bit about that one.
Yeah, well, let us come to the OG last. I actually want to talk about Co-op next, because
Sure.
South Barrie Co-op are where our pros are going to be spending their time. And so the Co-op Community Course in Evergreen Park, it's our longest course at 7,400 feet. It's also our flattest course, but you still get 190 feet of elevation change throughout the course. So we're using the hills wisely there. And our Grande Prarie courses, they'll reward you if you have a long arm, but our courses are really about course management and hitting your gaps and finding your landing zones. And our Co-op Community Course exhibits that more than any other course in the province, I'd argue, in many ways, where you're spending a lot of time in the woods, including there's one 340-foot tunnel that you only get to challenge after doing a setup shot that you're doing a setup shot off the tee. We're deciding, hey, do I want to go right to the mouth of this tunnel, or do I want to fade 40 feet in? So you're making a big decision at the start of this hole of how aggressive you want to get on your second shot. And then even if you get super aggressive and you reward yourself, you still got a 300-foot shot down a 30-foot tunnel, which is beautiful. And it's a beautiful tunnel where it's grass we planted. So you're on this beautiful grass with thick woods on either side of it. And so a picturesque course where you have to hit your lines, you have to pick your strategy. And about by the time everybody gets here, it's going to be covered in wild blueberries, Saskatoon berries, raspberries, strawberries. So also one where you can find your lunch on your whole one.
Are you 3 minutes here? 2 of those minutes I'm going to spend looking for my disc, and 1 minute is just harvesting berries and eating.
That's what my casual rounds very much are like. But yeah, and all of our courses, including Co-op, are a really good mixture of tight wood shots and more park style courses. But on the park style holes, you're having to hit your landing zones right, because there's a gap or there's a tunnel that you're going to be coming into or coming out of. And so we really are playing with the woods and the open spaces on all 3 of the courses.
Nice.
Yeah. Is there any plans to change the holes for the tournament? Are you making any alterations for the championship layout, that sort of thing?
So we have a crew of locals who are going to be going really hard over the 4 months they have of no snow and time to prep these courses to do a number of improvements, including installing short tee pads that are proper tee pads, make sure that we're putting up some retaining walls to deal with some of the erosion issues we've seen in the past, but also toughening up a few of the holes on Co-op in particular is definitely a big part of our hope. And we're just in the midst right now of planning where we're going to be toughening these up.
Okay.
Yeah. We just got a quick question in the chat here.
All right.
Kristen Swirls, who's probably going to be heading up there. She wants to know, you mentioned about hitting your gaps and rolling off into the woods. Do we need to bring bear spray?
If you were playing Co-op casually in the middle of the week during berry season, then that's not a bad idea at all. Although we're going to have so many people there and we're going to be so loud that I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah,
that's a fair question.
Yeah, definitely glow out at Co-op. You want to have 3+ friends with you if you're going glow, especially in the fall out there. But daytime should be fine.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar, You also need to learn how to yell, "Hey bear."
Yeah, exactly.
Hey bear. Well, that covers 2 of the 3 courses. Let's hit Thrill Hill.
Yeah, so a little bit of trivia about Thrill Hill. I'm just the co-designer. Rudy Faulkner actually came up to Grande Prarie to
Wow.
design it with me. And on the same trip that he designed that with me, he picked the land for South Barron Co-op. And so it
Okay.
was, but this course, again, it really is one that it's rewarding shot placement, and it's rewarding course management, and it's rewarding hitting your lines. So you're looking at 6,800 feet, which is a really good length for our amateur divisions, which are going to be the ones that are on this course. Over that 6,800 feet, we've got about 290 feet of elevation change. So you've got a few really fun downhill shots,
Yeah.
and and they're fun. My personal favorite hole on this entire course is hole 4, where you're at the top of this little hill, so you're about 15 feet up, and your first shot is a pretty wide open shot, but you're dealing with a giant tree on the left that you need to miss. And if you turn it over and the headwind we often have, it's going to go OB right. So an open shot with some risk, and you're throwing it at about 370 feet so that you can place it as close as possible to a 10-foot gap. Then on your second shot, you're going about 200 feet through that gap, and if you overshoot the basket, you're ending up in a slough that you really don't want to be in. And so it's a fun shot because you got a full distance shot to start, a little touch shot for your second one, but both of them really are punishing you if you don't place it precisely. And so it really is about picking your line and hitting it and landing your disc properly, not just throwing it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, sorry. I was
Yeah,
just gonna
go ahead.
say as well with Thrill Hill, it's a good if you're familiar with the Edmonton courses. I I say it as on a good day you can score the same as you would at Rundle, where it's very scoreable. Like if you're a decent skill level player, you can birdie almost every hole out there. But I think on a bad day, or if you're a beginner, or if you're just off your lines, it ends up being much more punishing just because our rough here it's a lot of thick brush, and there's also some OB out at Thrill, and similar to Rundle, the wind when it's up, it's a very good protector of that course. And Grande Prarie is pretty known for its wind. If you go out and play co-op in the wind, that's kind of our local strategy, is you avoid the wind by just going in the thick trees. But Thrill Hill, there's a couple holes that play a full stroke or two harder, depending on the wind that day. So definitely, and it seems almost every year when we have a tournament here that the wind gets going pretty good. So definitely good to bring some overstable plastic to that course and kind of prep for some strong winds out there.
Yeah.
Well, what I love about our courses too is we've got really punishing rough, but it punishes your score. It doesn't punish your ownership of plastic. And what I mean by that is there's a few exceptions. So you don't want to throw into the rough on the right on hole 9 of Thrill Hill. But other than that, most of our rough is thick trees, where if you land in our rough, you're going to be struggling to get out of jail. But we don't have a ton of underbrush, and we don't have the nasty thorns and roses that we used to have, and that you still have on some courses. And so when you go in the rough, you're going to hate your score, but you're not going to be losing discs. You're not going to be spending a lot of time looking for discs on most of our holes. So it's the fun type of rough that impacts your play, but you're not losing discs in it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome that, Sam, you're able to give us kind of a comparison to Rundle, because that, for a lot of our listeners in the Edmonton area, they're going to associate with that. One of our best videos was kind of a walkthrough we did of Rundle Park, and we noticed that a lot of people, we kind of had spikes in the viewership when River City Cup was happening, because people would check out that video before because they wanted to kind of get a lay of the land to see what they were up against. Do you have any videos, or do you have any plans for some videos of the courses so that people can at least see what they're up against before they make the trip up there?
Yeah, we do have. I think if you go back on the YouTube, we have some. I don't know if they're still on YouTube. I assume they are, and I think they actually might be on our website. But they're course fly-throughs that we made for provincials, so they're pretty good drone flights through, as well as Caddy Book that has kind of the layout of each course. So I'm sure we'll attach those, or maybe updated versions of them, because co-op was a little bit thicker back then. I think it was only 1 or 2 years in at that point, so it's definitely gotten a little more beat in now. But we do have some older fly-throughs there at least, and then Yeah, myself and another guy. I don't know if it actually made it to you. I think that one made it to YouTube. We have a winter round of us playing Thrill Hill, but we'll see. Maybe in the spring we'll go out and we'll maybe do a round with some talking through some holes, and me and a couple other guys locally here. We've done a couple of YouTube videos and stuff. So yeah, I'm sure that would go over big for people coming to play.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, if we keep on moving on, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, Dylan, was the tournament's going to take place over 3 days, 1 round per day. We're going to be in the middle of summer. There's going to be lots of light, lots of time if people want to put in extra practice rounds. Sounds like there'll be some C tiers beforehand. Are there any other activities that you know of right now that you're thinking about or planning for that week?
Well, and let me take this quick for Sam fills in the details, but something that's really important to us is we want this to be an amazing sport tourism experience for people, which means you're going to have really well prepared, fun, quality courses. What comes first is the competition and the play, but we also want to give you a really great experience off the course. So when we started organizing this, we knew that we needed somebody whose whole job was just to make that off-course experience awesome. And we knew the guy that could make that happen was Sam. So Sam's entire job is to organize the off-course stuff, and I know he's going to make it amazing. And with that, TF, I'll let him know what he's thinking.
For sure. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy. Dylan's pretty involved being a city councilor, and his personality in general, he got me involved with the local tourism group here. So I'm going to be partnering with them. And mostly that idea is for kind of daytime stuff. I always say when we go to out of town tournaments, sometimes we find ourselves just sitting in our Airbnb for a lot of hours, especially the bigger events where you're only playing 1 round a day. It's like 2.5, 3 hours of disc golf and then 14 hours of killing time. So we want to make sure that people doing that, especially, if you're coming with friends or family that might not be even taking part in the disc golf, but just there to watch you, that they have a good experience as well. So with the tourism group, we're going to try and figure a bit of a passport out for local businesses, local eateries, local places to do activities, different things like that. So there'll be a passport for players to, if they're looking for things to do in between. Lots of stuff going on there. And then just about every evening, we're trying to have a bit of a players party going on. So I've already spoken with a couple local groups. Dylan, actually, I don't know. I don't want to spoil too much of his thunder there, but Dylan is a part owner of one of the breweries here. And so we're definitely gonna be involving them in some of the activities, whether it be things like trivia nights or maybe karaoke or things like that. So we'll definitely have, a lot of evening activities revolving around hopefully the brewery there or some other like stops downtown, as well as I've already talked to we have a bit of the state-of-the-art laser tag facility here. So gonna have a tournament of that happening one night. And yeah, different little things like that. So basically every night that you're here, you can trust that there's going to be somewhere central for disc golfers to get together, whether it's more of just a social evening and spot for them to come hang out and, spend time with their card mates or other disc golfers that are there locally, or if it's an activity to go run around and do some things like that. Even, some extra disc golf evenings as well. We have the 3 main courses in town, but we also have a 9-hole golf course here, has a pay-to-play course set up on it, disc golf one. And so we might see if we can involve that in the activity somehow. Greg's going to be planning the disc golf related things, but maybe a glow night as well. So definitely lots of stuff going on. We really want to make sure that people are not only blown away by the disc golf that they get to take part in, but also feel as if their trip, especially if people are coming from the East Coast, we know it's a long journey over here. They might not be back in Alberta for a long time. So we really want to make the event memorable for them on and off the course. So definitely we'll have a lot of things going on for players and their families, caddies, whoever's coming with them.
Well, I know my ears pricked up when I heard trivia, because I like trivia. I listen to a lot of trivia podcasts. I know your ears pricked up when you heard karaoke, because I know that's something that you've mentioned before. But I think both of our ears pricked up when we mentioned brewery. So I think we're all in.
Yeah. You're already got us.
Hear that.
Yeah.
And beyond that too, another thing, as you mentioned there, Sam, for the people out on the East Coast and maybe people who haven't been up into the area, there's going to be the events that you're organizing that way, but just the Grande Prarie Peace Country region, if people are they like to fish, if they just like going on hikes and type of things, there's so much extra activities that are going to be available for them to make a trip out of. And I'm sure a ton of great camping in the area, lots of things like that as well. Am I right when I say that?
Just bring your bear spray.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Like if people are looking for awesome quality hiking, say that your whole family comes and one of you is playing in the disc golf tournament and everyone else during your practice rounds wants to, you make a day trip to Grand Cache, you can go to Tumbler Ridge. They're both within a couple hours. And then even just, the general Peace Country, we have a lot of hiking trails, a lot of places for people. Like if you like the outdoors, there's going to be limitless things to do in Grande Prarie. We even have some good quality golf courses, different stuff like that if people are looking for just general amenities to get out to. And then we'll make sure we highlight all of our local restaurants, local things that you wouldn't get back, wherever you're from, whether it's local in Alberta or if it's across the country. So definitely we'll make sure that people are, and then with that, we'll try and have some options for transportation and different things like that. We're not quite sure how that's going to look yet, but just making sure that anyone who's willing to travel across the country to play disc golf here is really taken care of and really enjoys their experience here.
Great.
Well, and if they want to make a vacation out of it, Grande Prarie is a great place to kind of have a base of travel to see the Peace Country. And for people that have never been up here, it's an absolute beautiful place of northern Alberta with big rivers, big prairies, an hour and a half away from mountains. From Grande Prarie, if you want to go about 45 minutes north, you can see the historic Dunvegan, which has this giant, beautiful suspension bridge in a really dramatic river valley that's a Badlands-style river valley. Or 20 minutes west of Grande Prarie, you can visit the Philip J. Currie Dinosaur Museum or do a guided float down the river. And the river that's there is one of the top dinosaur bone beds in the entire world, where there are new discoveries happening every single year. So this really is a beautiful place in Canada that for those who this will be their one trip up to the Peace Country, I'd encourage them to take a few extra days just to get out into the countryside, to get out in some of the surrounding areas, as well as enjoying our courses.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, we know a lot of people are going to be coming from Alberta, and like you said, people coming from across all the provinces, all across country, the provinces. With that being said, people that maybe you kind of touched on it a bit earlier, people might be flying in, but people that are going to be staying, are you working with hotels or other types of accommodation? Is there going to be kind of system set up or some sort of code or some special deals for people that might be flying in?
Yeah, so we'll be getting details out about exact pricing and how to book and all of that. But we are working on a partnership with one local hotel that haven't quite signed on the piece of paper yet, so not quite ready to announce our host hotel yet. But we do have a hotel that it's looking like is going to be our main host hotel, and it's a really comfortable hotel with really clean, comfortable rooms. They do a buffet that has some of the best buttered chicken in town. They've got a hot tub if you need that to unwind during the day. It's in a really accessible part of town right next to our mall. So if you forget something, really easy to go to Shoppers or whatever and get what you need. And so we've got, so we're working on a host hotel. It'll be a great HQ for people who need that.
Nice.
Stay tuned to Disc Golf Scene. That's what I'm hearing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, too, I can let you know from people that we've been talking to in the Edmonton area. We've had a couple conversations with a lot of different people, but in the Edmonton area, we know some people who have already booked their VRBOs or their Airbnbs, and I've been on there doing a little shopping myself and looking, and there's a great selection there. So it looks like anybody who needs a place to stay, if you guys have a host hotel or they're looking for other types of accommodations, it looks like Grande Prarie is going to have any type of accommodation they're looking for.
Yeah, I definitely would encourage people. I definitely encourage people not to leave it to the last minute, though, because our hotels, we're an industry town, so our hotels do fill up, but they fill up usually about a month out. So you're not going to have any problems whatsoever if you're booking a hotel in the next couple months. You might have a problem if you're trying to book a hotel 2 weeks out.
Oh, fair enough.
Totally. And I was going to say, just like I was kind of astounded when I had friends that were buying places and Airbnb-ing them here, thinking that no one's coming to Grande Prarie for tourism, but we have a ton of fly in, fly out jobs and things like that going on here. And so there's actually, like you said, there's a lot of availability for things like that, as long as you're planning slightly in advance and get on that earlier than later. So yeah, definitely shouldn't be a shortage of places for people to stay. Just got to think a little bit ahead.
All right. Well, and tell me if I've been giving good advice this way as well. As I was asked by someone out east about getting out here and the best way to do it, and I suggested the following, and you tell me if I was right. I say you may be able to find some flights direct to Grande Prarie, but also you could either fly into Edmonton and you could rent a car and drive up and see everything along the way and get that drive now that the highway is so wonderful. Or as well, there are, if I remember right, Coast Mountain or some of those other smaller airlines. If you get yourself to Edmonton, it might be good to get yourself to Edmonton and then take that second flight. Is that what you guys would say, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I fly in and out of Grande Prarie 3 or 4 times a month most months, and the air service here is really good, especially if you're willing to do WestJet. We're okay on Air Canada. WestJet, we've got multiple flights a day. Usually you're coming through Calgary to get here, and of course Calgary has really great connections, and so we're really easy to get to through the air if that's how people want to get here.
Okay, perfect.
And it's also a market that WestJet is trying to expand and trying to grow. So right now the flights are actually really affordable coming in and out of Grande Prarie. I can get almost anywhere in Canada for about $600 round trip right now.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, if you're out in Toronto and you're looking to try and get up to Grande Prarie and getting there for $600, that's awesome.
Start booking now.
Yep. Fantastic. All right, and we're going a little long. Are you guys good with time? Because we got so much to talk about, and I think this is all great information that people want to hear. You guys are good? Okay. So an event like this doesn't happen without two great guys like yourselves, but there's more than that as part of your team. Did you want to run through a few of the people who are on the team that are helping you put this together?
Sure. So we've got actually a really large organizing committee. We knew that to do this event justice and to put on the best nationals Canada's ever seen, I couldn't do it with just one or two of us. So we really do have a team. You've got to know me a little bit. I've got a big passion for organizing disc golf, but also have been on the board of directors for the Alberta Summer Games, the Alberta Winter Games, and a whole host of events for other sports as well. So I've got a really big passion to make the entire event awesome, not just disc golf. Sam mentioned Greg Hearn, who's a well-seasoned tournament director. That was our competition director for the provincials we hosted here. He runs a couple tournaments a year. He's an engineer by trade, so super organized, and the guy you want when it comes to running spreadsheets and creating schedules. He's going to be in charge of all of our competition. You've met Sam. We've got, for our course director, we've got Phil Duffy, who by day, he's a phys ed teacher and a volleyball coach, but he was also the main designer of the Evergreen Park disc golf course, the co-op community one I was talking about. Last summer, he built the course in Fairview. He built the course in Fort Saskatchewan. He was very involved in developing a course in Tumbler Ridge. So he's a seasoned course designer who's recruiting a team to really put some great finishing touches on our courses. We've got Roy Tarrant, who's had a variety of professional roles running a contracting company. He's a director in a whole bunch of plays. He's also a municipal administrator with the County of Grande Prarie, and so he's really experienced in recruiting people and running teams, and he's going to be our volunteer coordinator. Because for this to happen, we want to have spotters on those holes they might lose discs on. We want to have people come in and helping us put on really great evening events. And so we've got somebody with experience just to bring that help in. We've got Danny Biette, who's just a jewel of a guy, who's just one of the most welcoming, kindest people you'll ever meet. And he's going to be taking care of hospitality. So make sure that we've got great hotels for people, that they can get around, that they know how to navigate Grande Prarie, that they just feel well cared for here. We've got Michael and Lisa Curtis, where they do all the art for the club. And they're going to be working hard to make sure that every disc that we give in a player's pack or that we sell looks beautiful, that we've got great course signage to really put that finishing touch on the courses, and that this event just looks pretty. Sam was mentioning we've got a business owner who puts on that amazing 20-hole tournament with a huge amount of prizes every single year that really has become a fixture of our local disc golf scene. And he's our merchandise director. And he's really working hard to make sure that in those players packs, and also available for purchase if you want it, that we've got a few unique and memorable things that you really will be excited to take home and put in your bag or put on your shelf to remember your experience. And then I'm also excited. We've recruited a few non-disc golfers as well. We need to take care of our money. So we've got an accountant. Her name's Jane. She doesn't play disc golf at all, but she really is one of those community members who love showing off our communities to people, our community to people who are visiting. So she came on to volunteer just because she wants to serve our community, not because she's a disc golfer herself.
Awesome.
And then and then finally, and maybe most importantly in some ways, we've got a gentleman named Michael Connor who he's a very involved community member, and he's I don't even know how to describe his career because he's had about 40 jobs and about 30 of those were different businesses that he started up and ran successfully. But he's one of those just hustler guys who's always making a deal happen, always getting people engaged. And he's our sponsorship director to make sure that we've got the money we need to really make this event special and make these courses ready for people. So we've got a large and deep team that we've created to make sure that these can be the best nationals that Canada's ever seen.
Fantastic. Wow. That's quite the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a great team you're assembling there. And one of the ones you hit on that kind of struck me there was you talked about having the volunteer coordinator. And I think it's probably a good thing to let people know is that, you know, there's always a requirement and always a need for volunteers for these types of events. So if you don't get into the tournament, but you still want to be part of it, if your family's coming up and doesn't know what they're going to do during the day while you're playing disc golf, that's a great opportunity that they could be part of the event and contribute by volunteering. And people will always say, oh, well, I don't know anything about disc golf. Well, I volunteered and it doesn't really require a lot of knowledge to spot a disc. It's just don't get hit by one, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I also know there's people that they love disc golf, but they're intimidated about the competition of national championships. And volunteering is a really fun way to be around disc golf and watch beautiful shots and enjoy a course. And if you do come volunteer, we'll take really good care of you. We'll make sure you get some discs or some t-shirts to take home. We'll make sure you get out to play some casual rounds on your own if you want to do that. And I know I volunteer for a few sport tournaments every single year that I'm not playing in. And in many ways, volunteering is often funner than competing because there's no pressure and you still get to take in the vibes.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, sometimes on disc golf scene, we will see that there, you know, along with the actual event, there's also another event, which is like the volunteer sign up. Is that something that people can look for a little bit closer to the event as well?
Yeah, I think we'll either run that through disc golf scene or just attach a link to disc golf scene as well. So yeah, we'll try and make it pretty obvious and let it just make sure that anyone who's interested can find it pretty easily. But we will have some kind of sign up. So, you know, whether you're a local or someone that's coming, like I really love seeing Falcon's Flight where it's, you know, a player can play his tee time at 9 a.m. and then go spot in the afternoon for another course or something like that. So we'll definitely look to maximize anyone who wants to help out and make sure that they're treated really well.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to insert a question here. This is not a Daryl and I question. We're just being the great social media podcasters that we are. Now, we love to play nationals, and we do it for the experience. We do it for the challenge. We do it for the chance to meet people. But we do know that a lot of the amateurs are going to be asking about the players' packs. Are you already thinking about those and what they're going to look like?
Yeah, so I'm working alongside Hansa or John or Jan or whatever you want to call him. He's the guy that runs the Bear Lake Open tournament, and we usually pride ourselves quite a bit with our tournament, really getting you your money's worth as a player. And so we tried to really brainstorm for this because I know players packs over the last year or two have become a very hot topic with, you know, a small portion of people thinking, I don't want any more plastic. I want the registration for the event to be cheaper, and I don't need more discs or more minis or more towels or whatever it might be. And so we're really taking that into consideration. You know, I think people are prepared to pay a bit more of a premium to go to a national event, but we're really trying to make sure that people leave that feeling like they totally got their money's worth, whether it's on the courses and the overall experience of the event. But we also know that Players Pack That's the first thing you get when you show up usually, and you go to check in, and can really start the event off on the right foot or the wrong foot there. So I think everyone will leave with an item that they didn't have coming into it, and also a couple pretty cool custom items. I'm pretty excited about a few of the different brands that we're working with to bring these items. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything. But I'm going to say I don't think anyone will be complaining afterwards that they didn't get their money's worth, or that they got items that they think are pretty useless or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
No, that's a
awesome.
good teaser, and that's great to hear.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to know what's in it. It's always good to have a surprise when you get there, and yeah, it's like another Christmas day, Jeremy.
Yep. It's the icing on the cake. The cake is the whole event and everything else. That's just a little bit of icing.
Yeah, that's the way we look at it, right? Now, you know, a tournament like this, you've already mentioned so many different moving parts that makes it all come together. But one of the things that it also requires is sponsors. And obviously you're still working, probably getting people on board and things like that. Did you have any sponsors that you want to shout out at this time? Or maybe if there are some companies out there that want to be a part of it, they want to step up, is there any way that they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, we're not quite at the point of announcing our sponsors yet. We're still working out a few of our bigger deals before we start sharing who those are. But we are actively developing the sponsor package. It'll be for that that'll let mid-tier and lower tier people know what they can get. Be keeping your eyes out on that. I hope within the next couple of weeks we have that out. But in the meantime, if you want to make sure we send that to you when it's ready, or if you've got ideas of things you want to sponsor and you want to make a contribution that's large enough to negotiate a bit of a custom package, we're happy to have those conversations. And you can either reach out to Greg and myself through Disc Golf Scene, or you can email gpdiscgolf@gmail.com. And we're happy to talk sponsorship right away if you want, or you can wait for that package in a few weeks.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Good. Well, Daryl, I'm thinking we've hit almost every question I could think of for now. Mm-hmm. And you guys have answered everyone expertly. So it's January. We've got 7 months to go, and you're already well prepared. So I can't wait for this. It's going to be that exciting. But I want to throw it to you now at this point, is that we've covered our questions. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention that maybe we haven't touched on yet?
Nothing that you haven't touched on, but I realized I forgot to do a shout out to Sean Morrison, who's our social media and our media manager, who's also going to be doing a really great job over the next few months getting those deals out there. I didn't want to forget about Sean, because I really appreciate his work too.
Good stuff. Awesome. And how about you, Sam? Anything else that maybe you had that you wanted to put out there?
Yeah, I don't, I think right now we're at the point where none of us are playing disc golf here, but we're all getting excited about disc golf because of this event. And, I just hope that our excitement can come through, and that people can, if you're one of the people that has come up and played our tournaments in the past, we actually had a pretty good group come up for provincials. Just spread it to your local clubs. Just let people know what we have to offer up here. I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver on anything I do, so I usually talk down on myself quite a bit. But as far as what we offer for disc golf up here, I'm pretty proud of it. I've gone and, some of the bigger tournaments I've played, Falcons Flight, BC Open, TCO. So mostly all West Coast events, but most of the bigger ones here. And I always love the events, but I also always leave very thankful for our courses as well. And the fact that we have 3 high-level courses within about a 5-minute span of each other, driving wise, I just think we're a really lucky community, and I'm super excited that we get to share that with the rest of Canada. So yeah, just a lot of excitement, and hope that can translate to people.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Thanks for joining us on the podcast tonight, guys. We appreciate you coming on as our first guests of the year. We wouldn't have wanted it any other way. As we said, there's still 7 months to go. Lots will be happening. Lots will be changing. So if there is information that comes out and, your team needs to get it out there, just reach out to us. We're happy to share it, whether it's through our socials and reposting something, or even announcing it on the podcast. Just let us know. And I think the last thing I would say about it is, we mentioned it earlier, our PDGA ratings aren't going to be quite there, but March 1st, we will be like at Falcons Flight. We will be sitting there ready to go, and we'll be excited to see you in July in Grande
Prarie. Awesome. Can't wait to see you gentlemen up here.
Yeah, it's going to be
Awesome.
good. Thanks so much, you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye now.
Well, Daryl, look at the last 3 years, like including this year. So Clearwater we can go back even further.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I heard so many good things about Thunder Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? 2023.
Yeah.
I was at Clearwater. It was amazing in 2024.
Yeah.
You and I were just in Ontario, 2025.
Yeah.
And now after this interview,
Yeah.
what are you thinking?
Oh,
Grande
yeah.
Prarie 2026?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just just everything. Like it seems like, the way Sam said there, it's so true. Sometimes you go to an event, you play your round, and then you're like, okay, what are we gonna do? It seems like you're gonna be hard pushed to get everything done. You're going to be coming home saying, oh, I wish I did that. Yeah. Oh, I didn't have time to do that. There's so much going on over the full week. It sounds like you have to, even then, extend your trip, go there a few days early, and you still won't be able to get it all done.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it this way is I'm hoping like in that Falcons Flight style where you can play and then you can volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that I can volunteer at the co-op course on whatever hole has how many different berries did they mention? I'll just be volunteering and eating at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, it'll be good. So I can't wait for the snow to melt and get us back out there. But everyone, thanks a lot. We know this one was a bit longer, and we will always make it longer when the content is good. So thanks for listening and being part of the episode. Make sure to jump over to our YouTube and subscribe if you haven't done that already. Like, comment, put some love in the comments there for Dylan and for Sam and for everything they're doing, just like we're doing in the live here. You can check out our Facebook, our Instagram, go to all those places. And we also have, of course, our Patreon. So if you want to support us beyond the social media side of it, you can jump over to Patreon. We got tons of different levels, including free, and the support helps us just keep this podcast going and bring you this great content.
Absolutely.
What do we got coming up next, Daryl?
Well, you mentioned it, our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to head over to our Patreon, do our Around the Basket podcast.
Yeah.
We do that every week after the Chain Out podcast. We normally head over there about 8:30 or so.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be heading over there shortly. Disc golf talk, discussions, banter, quizzes. We got it all over there. Come over, join us on a Patreon, be a part of the comment, be a part of the chat. It's a lot more relaxed over there. We like to get the chat a lot more involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you get over there, you go to the Patreon and you join up at any of those levels. We've got a link there. Daryl's got it there 99.5% of the time. If it's not there, it's there right after we talk about it.
That's high.
But no matter what, that link will be there, and we can't wait to see you over there. And we're going to finish this off, Daryl. I put another one of our little rhymes.
You like these, don't you, Jeremy?
I just love that you're game for them because you're getting good at them. So are you ready?
I just can't say no to you, Jeremy. Okay. Canadian Nationals, the biggest event of the year.
So much excitement, and you heard it all here.
Dylan and team have the tournament on lock.
Come July, Peace Country is gonna rock.
3 sweet courses that will put us to the test.
At the end of the weekend, we'll know who's best.
Spring registration. Excitement's going to sprout.
And if you make it on our card, you'll certainly see a chain
Chain
out.
Thanks, everybody.